So, in this video, we're going to be talking about Samuel Leeds, and I believe that he was in the Parliament debate. Now, um, so what do we actually know about him? And just before I even get started, there are other companies like Samuel Leeds out there in the UK that are doing the exact same thing. I've been on 3 webinars who teach exactly the same thing. On each webinar that I've been in, it's the same thing they've been teaching. So it's nothing new what he's teaching. It's just that the Labour government have a vendetta against this guy just because he's helping people become financially free. And that leads me to my points that I'll get into at a later date in the video of my points, but let's just have a look at his YouTube channel. So this is his channel here, and you can find him on YouTube and that. He's also on Instagram and on a couple of other platforms as well. He has a YouTube channel that is for success stories here. And if you just, this is where some of his students come, not all of them, because some of them want to be not publicly available online. They don't want to come on front of the camera to, show their wealth and that. That's fine. There's other students who come on here and tell their story basically. And I watched this suicide one's actually quite it's a very interesting watch. If you guys want to check it out, it's basically she was very much a well, you just have to watch it to kind of get it. But the text and the wording of the video here kind of explains it all, I think. So she's still alive because of Samuel Leeds basically and his course. So that's fantastic. Um, And basically, my understanding is now I've not talked to him personally face to face, but I have talked to him on Instagram back and forth. As you can basically message him. He gets back to you very fast. Most of the time, he gets back to you. And yeah, so that's Samuel Leeds. He has a course. That teaches you how to become financially free. If you're interested, you can sign up. I think he was giving it away now because the government's trying to shut him down. So he's basically just giving it away for free. So and basically that is the stories that you can check out yourself. I mean, there's plenty of stories out there of Samuel Leeds, and if you do a Google search on it, you'll find a lot of fake news online as always because the media, even the parliament, they don't even know, like they've not even talked to him. They're just presuming what they hear online, which is a load of nonsense anyway, because they've not even fact they've not even fact find anything that they were talking about in parliament. And another thing is they're going after stupidity people. But what about the people that the Labour government has sent away because of their taxes? I mean, who wants to live in Britain anymore? Let's face it. People that are here are only here because they're stuck here because they don't have financial freedom to leave. That is basically how we've come to the conclusion that Britain is no longer a brilliant empire like it once was. In fact, Britain used to be really good. Um, but let me. let me just show you a couple of other companies that are doing the exact same thing as Samuel Leeds. It costs roughly the same, though Samuel is now doing a free, totally almost free. It's £97 you'll pay, and for that you'll get everything that is included. Now, normally it's like normally I believe, but I know it's like it's they reserve a spot for you to join their academy if you don't have the funds straight away. So it's like it's £2,000, but you're getting a £2,000 course for £97 for the serious people that actually want to be financially free. So it's a no-brainer. At the moment, that's what he's doing. So, and that's only because the government is kind of sending him cease and desist letters to shut him down, basically, which is ridiculous. But let me just show you another company, just like Samuel Leeds. It's called Touchstone Education. I've been on their webinar. I've seen them. It's the exact same thing that Samuel teaches on this webinar. There's nothing different. Um, the only slight different thing is their investors are on an app where Samuel's investors are on a Facebook group. And yeah, there's nothing really different apart from that. And then there's this company here based in Glasgow. That's where I live. I live in Glasgow, and they are based in Glasgow. Their offices are in Glasgow. You can basically pop in and see them if you want to. I'm not too sure how much this course is going to cost. They're teaching the exact same thing that Samuel Leeds doing, that he's teaching his academy members. So this was just a website I was having a look at, but basically um, Samuel Leeds is teaching the same thing as all these other companies are doing. So 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 I don't understand why they're going after one person. You would think if they really have a, because that's why I'm saying they have a vendetta against the Samuel Leeds guy, um, because he's teaching people to be financially freedom. Think of that for a moment. The person who's trying to help people be financially free, they're trying to shut him down because of it. And the funny thing is, if you know how rich people make their money and how they move to different countries and how they structure their businesses, because the rich people, they go to an accountant. The accountant tells them exactly what to do. So it's not actually Samuel Leeds' fault. It's just he's wealthy enough to go to some of the accountants that know what they're doing, and he's teaching you how to do the same, not the same thing as what he does, because obviously it's an individual basis, because obviously everybody can be at different stages in their career path to get financial free. But now let's just talk about the UK government for a moment, shall we? I now I've lived in this country for 38 years of my life. When Now my mum passed away about a year ago, right? Now my mum was somebody who used to do everything. She used to pay the bills. She used to um, run the house basically. My dad used to always just work. So my mum was the one that used to do everything. Now when my mum passed away, I'm the one that has to do everything. So over the 1 year, I've learned so much to do so much that my mum used to do. Taxes, everything. I've kind of learned everything myself. And I know I'm 37, but I did have a day job beforehand. But because my mum had cancer, I kind of left a job, and then I looked after her for 5 years, and in that 5 years, um, obviously when she passed away, then now it's on me to do everything. So I kind of like phone died on me there. Um, so yes, so basically I've done everything myself. Now in that year, it doesn't matter who we elect because there's two reasons the government is always going to be corrupt. Number one, every politician, and I don't care who they are, they only care about one thing, themselves, and how to get elected. They don't care about anything else. They'll say everything under the sun to get elected. They'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll steal. And also they'll lie and cheat and steal behind other uh, the other members of their of the parties and other parties as well. So knowing all that, there's no way you can trust anybody in Parliament, right? Because the way the government is structured, it's to keep the wealthy down. So back in the day, we used to have the rich, we used to have the um, middle class, is what they used to call it, and then you had poor people. Nowadays, there's only poor and rich. There's no middle class anymore, right? And the government have structured it in such a way that the poor will always stay poor and the rich will always stay rich. The only way to keep us kind of controlled, yeah? Because remember, the UK is going to be like China one day. If we if you don't know what's happening in China, you can go check out. Basically, China is restricted where they control everything. You can't. It's just a total. It is. Yeah. I'm not even going to go into that. But China, we are turning into China basically. The UK government want to control everything. They have stopped cryptocurrencies. They've made it more harder to buy cryptocurrencies. Um, and that's another reason why. That is another reason why some people left the UK as well, because when the government start telling you what you and you cannot do, why would anybody stay in the UK? The UK is not what it once was, and it doesn't matter what government comes in, guys. It's always going to be this way. You see, if you look at America, look at the other countries right now. Right, America is trying to control the people. Britain's the same thing. They're trying to control the people. Those ID, those ID things that they were going to do, that was a load of nonsense that I've ever heard in my life. That was their way of controlling us. And 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 there is a new law that's coming out that they can go in your bank account and take your own money as well. The government can come in and take your bank if you're doing fraud, which, okay, I understand the fraud bit, but if you're not doing fraud, then they can still come in and take your money, basically. There's quite a lot of things that I don't like about the UK, and that is the new Labour government. And I tell you, Labour is definitely this year. There's a voting going to happen. I'm in two minds whether to vote because no matter who I vote, it's going to be a shitstorm anyway. It's not going to work, and I know it's not going to benefit me. And this is why it doesn't matter who you vote. Nobody is going to benefit the people because every politician is corrupt. They just do not care about anybody in the UK. They want to keep you down and stay where you are. They're not going to help you at all. The NHS here is going downhill as well, sadly. Um, and the government is just the worst ever. And if you look at history, if you look historically, um, right now is the worst time. And I don't actually know why people are coming here because it's the worst country to come to. They're trying to control us. They've got so much in place that it is ridiculous. And the fact that they pushed the millionaires out of this country in the first place is even bonkers. That shows you how much intellect our parliament really has. They don't have the intellect knowledge because they just don't. Because if they had some, they would know, okay, if we're going to do taxes, then they were going to raise taxes. Okay, well, what other people higher up going to do? Obviously, they didn't think about it because they don't have the intellect like most people do. In fact, most people don't even have the intellect. Everybody's stuck in a wee bubble. The people that do have the intellect will know what to do, but that's very few these days. And yeah, so going back to Samuel's case, they've somehow got a vendetta against all these companies that are trying to help you become financially free, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So they've not went after Touchstone Education, and they've not went after this other company called realpropertyscotland.com, which I don't know why, because they're doing the exact same thing as what Samuel Leeds doing, except it's costing a wee bit more money than Samuel Leeds. So yeah. But in a nutshell, um, he's not a scammer, and just don't listen to the fake news of the parliament because they don't know jack squiddly squat. They can't even run the country properly, let alone do anything else. So, um, and also the Labour government is useless as always, as you can see by their forcing people to leave the UK. I mean, soon there'll be nobody left in the UK because we're going downhill anyway. So yeah, that's where we're at. And if you ask me, we should all have a backup plan because the UK is just it's not a good place to live anymore. Plus you get all the violence, the stabbings. This is so much going on in the UK, and that's like America. It's almost coming like American, but for Britain. You know, we used to be strong. We used to have navies. We used to do things, and that's another thing. The government have stopped making things in the UK. They're importing everything in. Before we used to make cars, we used to do shipbuilding. We used to have a good fleet, and now we're we're actually buying everything in, from guns to military to everything. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. Because back in the day, we used to make things. Britain used to be a strong country. Now we ain't strong anymore because if we were strong, we we would know it, but we're not strong, and that's just the way the world is now. So, and yeah, so that's the way it is. But yeah, so this Samuel Leeds guy, he's not a scam. Um, it's quite interesting actually how he became the way he is. If you actually talk to him and watch some of his videos, you'll understand. But if you've never talked to him and you're presuming based upon the fake news online and the Parliament news, all I will say is this: you have a brain, use it, because the government don't want you to use your brain. They want you to be like zombies. So it's up to you. Just remember that the government wants to control you. Any news you hear online from any BBC News or any other news channels, they're all pretty much filtered. You have to back you have to go and fact find to make sure they're telling the right thing, because they could even they could even lie to you as well. Because most of the time the news comes from the channels that we all watch, and they're fake news as well. So you have to know exactly how to fact find. So, and use your brain, please. For the people that are watching this that do understand what I've just said, there don't know what to do. But the people that are zombies, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Some people just are stuck in their ways and stuck in their own wee bubbles. In fact, most people are stuck in their own bubbles. But if you want to escape your bubble, try Samuel Leeds' course or try the Touchstone course. Though I've actually heard some negativity about Touchstone, so don't know. That's just what I've heard. And as well as this real estate property Scotland, no idea. I have not had anything negative, but then I don't know because I've never done my research on them, like people that have joined them. I've been on 3 webinars. I've been on their webinar, I've been on Touchstone's webinar, and I've also been on Samuel Leeds' webinar, which I actually paid money for afterwards. So um, I did watch some of his course materials, and yeah, they're actually they're pretty good. The courses that he's got is pretty good, and it's free just now. So there's no better time to join. If you don't know how to join, just head on over to the website and ask the customer support staff, or there'll be a link somewhere on his channel. Or if you go to his Instagram has a link, I think, to join for free. So just go over there and join. And it's £97. And there's a reason why it's £97 because people people don't commit to anything they go for. So the people that are committed to being financially free will put a tiny bit of money in to learn something that's going to help them be financially free. It's just like, for instance, I like trading, so I buy trading courses to teach myself how to trade and do other things. That's what I'm kind of doing on my side right now. I've not made any money of trading, but I'm getting there slowly. Um, but but you all have to have a plan on how to be financially free. I can't teach you how to do that. Samuel can't teach you how to do that. You have to want that yourself. And unfortunately, some of the people that I've seen on his success stories here, they were all struggling people like you, normal people struggling. And they're only struggling because their mindsets are not correct. Once you change your mindset and you have a goal, you can do anything. And don't listen to the government. The government don't know jacks with the squat. They just don't. And that goes for every government that we elect. They just don't know how to run a country because Parliament is all divided. It's always going to be divided because every party, nobody gives a damn about anybody in the parties. They all fight amongst each other. We're not united like we used to be. Back in the day, we used to have a united force. Now we don't because everybody's fighting with each other. It's kind of like a Royal Rumble match, um, which is basically what the parliaments are. They're all fighting with each other rather than just getting along with each other, making, you know, but it is what it is. So go check him out if you want to. He's not a scammer. He's a normal guy who knows how to make money. He's made money. He's buying properties. He's investing in other opportunities. He's developing himself like you should be doing. On this quick note before I go, I just want to talk about 2 things. Number one, the government has, I want to talk about schooling and colleges and how the government is trying to keep you in the lower class. Now, you, the government, the structure of everything in the UK is to keep you where you're at, to follow the generic path. But you have to remember, things you get taught in school are the old-fashioned way. We don't do that now here. We don't actually I mean, we still teach it, but it's like it's old fashioned, and the entire schooling system's never been updated. However, later on in your life, you'll realize that everything you learned in school has no application outside of the outside world. So it's pointless learning what you're doing in school. Now, the second thing is once you get 18, your brain is not fully developed yet. Your brain develops between the ages of, I think, 25, 26, or 27, around about that age, or maybe 28, something like that. You can Google that online and find it yourself. So, and also when you leave to go to college, you're going to get a loan to do a course, and then you're going to be in debt because that's the way the government structured it. This is why I said the government wants you to stay exactly where you are. They don't want you to think about yourself. They don't want you to use your brain. They just want to be a zombie and just eat up the news like a zombie would, you know. Now you have to be smart, and you have to you have to think for yourself and actually use your brain. So that's all I'm going to say, like in terms of the way we're going, and also the whole world, people, the different governments. Some of the governments outside are trying to control us now. Now we don't have any control over that because we live in the country, so we have to follow the laws. But you can protest against that because as as an individual, we have a right to be free, not be controlled. And I think that's why a lot of these criminals and a lot of these violence is happening because the governments are trying to control us. And instead of trying to live the way we're meant to live, we're getting told what to do. And Britain is no longer strong anymore. We used to be strong back in the day. Britain used to have our own car factories. We used to build things. We used to do so much, but now we don't do any of it. We just don't. And that's all down to the government. They've shut down they've shut down the boat building industry, the iron industry, the um the boat industry, that they basically shut down everything. And it's a shame because we used to be a thriving country, but now we're not. We're not even strong. Our own army isn't as strong as it should be. Um, and I was looking at a news article online once that said Russia will have a better advantage over us because of the way the UK is not as strong, and we're also buying imported ammunition and everything else from other countries. So we're not even making our own weapons and that, which I think is stupid. But we should be making our own weapons. Everything, everything that we can do in Britain should be done in Britain. We should start making things again. That's the whole point. The government just, I don't know. And I've lived here for 38 years. I think I said 37, but that was when I was 37. I'm 38 now. So, but yeah, but I just wanted to say that quickly. And yeah, and if you guys want, leave a comment below the video. I would like to know if anybody's actually joined the other companies to see if it's good or bad, what your feedback on it, and just before, if you don't like the country you live in, you can always leave to a different country, and that's why it's always good to have a secondary nationality, because at some point they are going to be like restricting our access to come into the UK and going out of the UK as well. I do believe that's coming too at some point, and it's going to be like China all over again, because China is what the UK is going to be like a lot at some point as well. So, um, but yeah, that's all I got to say about that. And don't trust the politicians because they don't know anything. They can't even run the country, let alone do anything. So, but yeah, vote for whoever you want. To be honest, it doesn't really matter because it's still going to be a crap. It's still going to be a bad place to live, regardless. Because, as I said before, politicians only care about themselves. They don't care about anybody but themselves. And that's all I got to say about that. So I'll see you in the next video, guys. And Samuel Leaks is not a scam, the normal guy. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that.